What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be wrapping up the Omicron segment for our TW series. We're going to be going over the few advanced Omicrons, in my opinion, and then we'll go over like the flex options and kind of show you guys like which ones that, you know, if you just love TW as much as I do, then you go and do them. But a lot of them sometimes just aren't required, or the return on investment is very short term on some of these because they're very datacron dependent. So, you know, some of them that I'm going to be talking about probably aren't going to be relevant within a couple months. But let's go ahead and let's get started. Alright, so as I mentioned before, we're going to be revisiting this guy a lot. So the advanced Omicron we're going to be talking about is Dual Barrage. Now, Dual Barrage, I have mixed feelings about it. Only because it doesn't work all the time. And it really kind of gets a little irritating when it doesn't work because CG says they fixed it. Anyways, I'll talk about that in a second. But this is an Omicron that allows you to inflict undispellable protection disruption on your opponent for 2 turns. So this is what is the use out of this? This is one of those Omicrons. It's very when you have it, it's nice to have, because the only time it's really relevant is when you're using Boba Fett, Sign of Django on non-Lord Vader teams. And most of the time, you can kind of kick the crap out of anything non-Lord Vader. This only comes into play if you're going up against like Rey or JML, you know, some sort of galactic legend where you can like bypass the protection and just, you know, just kind of cut straight to their health, and it's a lot easier to kill them that way, obviously. So you don't need this for everything. If you do have it, like I said, even C, it helps just cut through the teams a lot quicker. Now, as I mentioned before, it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So right here, protection disruption, the description is protection is disabled, immune to protection up, and bonus protection. Okay, so I understand it does not dispel. But there are times this Omicron has been bugged because of datacrons and because sometimes things just break in the game. So an example would be like if you have this on Rey, she'll still give herself the bonus protection even though, you know, she has protection disruption. Another example is Lord Vader with the Dotcron. He shouldn't be, you know, gaining any, I don't know if you guys remember, but anytime he inflicted dots, he got bonus protection. That also was another, you know, kind of a hiccup. So for the most part, it works most of the time. I think Datacrons sometimes kind of break it a little bit. But yeah, it's a good one. It's not required, but like I said, if you do it, it helps you cut through just about anything other than Lord Vader, because obviously Lord Vader, they lose all their protection to begin with. Alright, next up we have Compassion Leaves a Trail with Grand Inquisitor. This one I actually don't like until Reva came out. I don't like Reva, which is kind of funny. So this is an interesting one because it's got like 2 parts to it. It's whenever Jedi enemies with Purging and Protection up, they take damage equal to 25% of the max health. Kind of similar to like how EP damages Rebels and shock characters and Jedi, so to speak. It's very similar to that. So that is very nice when you're going up against JMKs that have like Padme, because Padme is always providing protection up on the team. The only part that I didn't like about this was the savior mechanic, because I was like, it didn't make sense to me at the time, because under GI lead, if everybody has 6 stacks of purge, you should be kicking their ass. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be losing. But I guess you now have this nice safety net, so you do have a quintuple savior mechanic, if you want to speak, so to speak, because you get a savior from every enemy that has 6 stacks of purge against GI, which is kind of cool. Not really practical under GI lead, because, well, like I said, once you get to 6 stacks of purge, you're already winning, and you have to get there first. However, under Reva lead, you already have that, which is kind of nice. So this does have more use under Reva lead. Do you need it? No, but I think it provides just a little bit more protection. Like I said, the max health damage is really nice. I really like that part. But the savior mechanic, I've only seen it triggered like once or twice. You know what I mean? It's in a very rare situation where your Grand Inquisitor dies. But because, like I said, most of the time, once Inquisitors start rolling, they just get going. There really is no tug of war type of a battle with Inquisitors. They're either losing or they're winning, and then that's kind of it. So, I mean, it's a nice one to have. Is it required? Not so much. Next up, we have Trench. This one, I smell fear and it smells good. This one is good. This one's very good. This is definitely the last one you're going to give the Trench. This one is a game changer. I can tell you right now, this one will change the way counters behave when they're attacking a trench on defense if they have the unique Omi. It is definitely it definitely will cause some counters to fail because of how much durable your team is going to be. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's pretty lengthy, but I mean, you are going to be, you get a savior trench. And then on top of that, everyone's health and protection recovery is going to be increased by 15%, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but then when you look at how much they're already getting, it just makes the team super, super tanky and super, super durable. So this unique Omi basically makes your entire trench team a lot thicker, harder to deal with. It makes trench a nightmare to deal with, especially if he gets the tank tech. Oh my god. I'm not joking, but when I say borderline unkillable, I mean borderline unkillable. Like, he is a nightmare to deal with. And on top of that, you get some extra speed. This one is very, very good. I highly encourage all 3 Omis on Trench. I think Trench is an incredible character, but this is going to be the one you're going to do last, of course. Okay, so moving on, some of these Omicrons are going to be a little bit more on the flex side. I still consider Cyas an advanced option just because there are some interesting uses with him, and I feel like a lot of guilds kind of ignore this one quite a bit. So if we look at Sadistic Glee, it's really important to read the clauses, because there's 2 clauses here, but only one of them is highlighted in white text. So it's while in territory wars, that's the first clause. All allies are Sith at the start of the battle. You get max health equal to half of Sidious's protection. And you guys know he has a potency, not protection, excuse me. And he has a pretty high potency pool. But that is one sentence, and it's not part of the main clause. The main clause up here, which is while in territory wars, activates the entire Omi. So the really interesting part is you don't need a full team of Sith for the second part. So while Darth Sidious uses Demoralizing Blow, which is his AoE, his cooldowns are reduced for each other Sith ally, which that also is nice. And then Sidious gains 50 speed for 4 turns stacking. So he constantly, if you're on a full team of Sith, you just AoE, 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 AoE. You just go, and he gets faster and faster and faster. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to have him under a C or under Malgus. But I just wanted to note that, like I said, you don't need a full team of Sith to do that second part, and I think that is where that's why I'm putting him in like the kind of the advanced category, because this does open up the doors for some interesting ideas and interesting comps. If we look at Demoralizing Blow, it's on a cooldown of 4, so technically you only need 3 other Sith allies to have it always basically readily available. So again, I like that flexibility option with this. It's not a mandatory Omi, but I think you definitely need a plan with your guild on how you're going to utilize this one. But I personally really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I wish I could invest more in him. I mean, I gave him, he has crappy mods, but I think he's a really good character, actually. And again, that flexibility is pretty fun. All right, moving on. We're going to start going into like the flex territory now. So, Skiff Guard Lando. Man, oh man, this guy, I have been struggling to find a home for him for almost a year now because, well, he kind of gets booted from the Jabba team real quick. The problem with the Jabba team is you got a mixed light and dark faction, but you have majority dark side characters. So when it comes to Datacrons, usually it's better to capitalize on the 4 dark side characters and kind of leave Boosh out of it. I know right now, in order to like stop Phoenix beating Jabba, you kind of just put OG Boba on the team. Sometimes with the Boltcrons, the 15%, you know, people would put Gamorrean Guard on the team as the 5th. But obviously Embo is a staple on that team, so unfortunately you're kind of left with one flex option for Jabba. Skiff Guard Lando's Omicron is really good. I really like it. It's just, man, it is tough to find a home for it. The reason I think it's good is because, well, you don't need to be on a Jabba team for it to work. It can work on literally any team, which is kind of cool. You can literally put him anywhere and it works. Unfortunately, the hard part is just finding a home where he fits. All right, moving on, we got, almost I said Chrysanthemum, Tarl. It's under his lead, right? Yeah, Tarl. This one is interesting. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to put this definitely in the flex option. You don't need this. It's obviously, you know, really good right now because we have Wookiee Datacrons, but I think once the Wookiee Datacrons go away, this is probably going to fall off quite a bit. This is definitely an Omi you're going to do once you've taken care of all the priority ones. It can be easily countered. However, it's one of those extra Omis where it's like if your whole guild has this, then you're forcing your opponent to kind of really use something that's safe. Otherwise, this is going to cause a lot of bleed. You know, and causing bleed is always good. It's always good to make your opponents drop banners. So this is an extra one, but definitely wouldn't prioritize this. There's not a whole lot of special things here. It's cool, it's fun, but it can be a bad batch pretty easily. All right. This guy. Oh, boy. All right. Well, you guys probably already have an idea of what I'm going to say about this guy, but bear him with Sana Staros. Obviously, I don't think anyone's running with Leia at the moment. I mean, the Drogon Crown and the Drogon teams are kind of set right now, but once the Drogon Crown goes away, maybe there's a world with Farm Boy Luke. But I actually think this is a great Omi. I think like if you just look at the Omi for itself, I think it's really good. I think it's a lot of fun. It's straight to the point. It's easy. It's just ramp. It's literally just a ramp Omi. But yeah, I think you put this with Sana, and if you combine this with Sana's Omi, it can be pretty good. I mean, I typically get holds with it every time I set it. And you know, that's kind of what you're looking for at the end of the day in an Omicron. Is it gonna cause your opponent to lose out on 5 banners, potentially 10 or more. But yeah, don't worry about Farm Boy, guys. This is definitely like extra credit type of Omicron. A lot of fun. I really want to invest more in him. Get him up to like 7 or 8 and see what he can do. But yeah, don't worry about this one, guys. All right, Princess Nissa. This one is actually really interesting. I actually haven't been able to use it a whole lot in Territory Wars, unfortunately, because my Ewok Datacron is going somewhere else at the moment, and I gotta roll another one. But this one is really cool. I really like Nissa's kit. I'm a really big fan of Nissa's kit, but this Omi is actually kind of insane. I think this is an Omi that's gonna really just grow well with Datacrons because of the true damage that Ewoks do, and just the fact that this is such a stat boosting Omicron. And the one thing I really like about it is the fact that she starts with 100% turn meter at the start of the battle. That kind of opens the door for a lot of things, and the cool thing is she gets that 100% turn meter without being on a full team of Ewoks. So I mean, you know, I made a video about a month ago talking about, or not even a month, a couple weeks ago, talking about how you can use Nissa to jumpstart Maul to proc his Frenzy on a Mando team. Then they obviously changed ISC to saying you need full Dark Side Mandos or Empire to get that to get the bonuses from ISC. So that obviously doesn't work anymore, but this is a very good one. The only reason I'm actually putting this in the flex category is because it's Ewoks. Maybe when the new raid comes out and more people are going to be investing more in Ewoks, this might be one you might want to consider, because like I said, it's a very good team, and if you've already invested in Ewoks, this one is very transformative. I think this is a very transformative Omi. I've used it like once or twice, and I mean, you just go. So it's a lot of fun. But again, Ewoks, so prioritize your teams. Okay, so now we've entered the super flex territory. Unfortunately, because Jawas were my OG team back in the day, unfortunately, guys, this Omi just doesn't cut it. And it's not the Omi. The Omi's actually really good. And eventually, you know, maybe I would like to apply it. But it's just Jawas. The fact that Jawas kits haven't been updated or touched, they've gotten 2 reworks on their skins. Like, they've gotten new skins twice in the last year, but they haven't given Zetas to this faction. They haven't given them touch-ups. We haven't got a new Jawa, anything like that. So I really wish, because this one would be really fun, but I wish we got a new Jawa or something, like something to revitalize this faction, because a lot of people did invest in it for the crate raid, and that is unfortunate that, you know, the Jawas just really don't do anything. But yeah, no, it looks like a really fun Omi, but just don't bother with it right now, unfortunately. Alright, Tusken Warrior. This one is very underwhelming. I haven't applied it yet for several reasons. I would like to get around to doing it, hopefully after Gideon comes out. This Omi really fell off after they lost their Datacrons. And unfortunately, this Omi doesn't do anything for the team. That's kind of why it's a big flex option. All this does is kind of affects Warrior, and she gets a bonus turn, and you know she can do more damage, and so to speak. But it doesn't do anything for the team itself. So this is a very interesting Omi. It's almost like if you took Sina Django's like special, or Trench's basic, and he just gave it to Trench. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't do anything else for the team. If you already invested in Tuskens, maybe consider it. I mean, they can kill things. It's just, I would not invest in this one right away. This is definitely an extra one. And like I said, once Tuskens lost their Datacron, they really kind of fell off. So, oh gosh, T3. This is gonna be a tough one to talk about. I am a super fan of T3M4. I think he's got one of the coolest kits in the game. I am a huge fan of just like the droid combo teams. It's just droids are in this state right now where they can't do anything. They really need to eliminate BB-8 and replace him with somebody else that's going to do what BB-8 does plus damage. Droids don't have any damage right now. This is a very cool Omi, and I think there's a lot of potential. I mean, it's a very, very good Omi, in my opinion. It's just, unfortunately, there's no team that supports it. So this one, I've been trying to get to work. I mean, the Lobot rework was such a disappointment. It's such a scam. He's got a great rework. It's just the problem is, when you're running a droid team, you have Sortie, you have Lobot, you have BB-8, and you have T3. That leaves you with one spot left, and the one question you're going to be asking yourself is, oh my gosh, who's going to do damage on this team? You can't run a team of just 4 supports. It makes no sense. So that's kind of where droids are struggling right now, because you can throw IG-80, you can throw HK, you can throw BT-1 if you want to. It still doesn't matter because you can't have a team functioning with just one person doing damage. There's just too many combo pieces involved, so I really hope they eliminate BB-8 from the team somehow. And I mean, we kind of don't even need him. Lobot gives you so much speed anyways. But yeah, so it's just, again, hold off on this one. When it's good, I will let you guys know, because I really, really like this character, and it really sucks that I can't invest in him more without, with no return. All right, we're not leaving the Inquisitors out, guys. Trust me, we're gonna talk about them. So I do have the Omi here. Don't do it. I did it purely for the fact I just wanted to max out my interceptor. Don't do it. Okay. Same thing. Just wanted to max out my scythe. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't do it. Alright guys, well that concludes the TW Omicron guide for now. If there are any new Territory Wars Omicrons that come out, like Gideon's, I will revisit this list, and we will place Gideon accordingly once I get some testing with him, obviously. If there's a new one that comes out, like Keller and Beck or IG-12 and Grogu, I'll obviously review that separately, and then, once they come out and we get some actual test footage and stuff like that, I will be able to place them accordingly on where they fit on the tier scale. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave me a like. If I earned it, subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments about anything TW related, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will respond to you ASAP. And other than that, guys, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.